Jesus already taught us how to create our reality, and most of the teachings that are related to reality creation, it's actually included in the Gospel of Thomas, the book that was excluded from the Bible. The reason it was excluded from the Bible is because the church knew the power of its information, so they decided that this is not meant for the public. It's not church itself that is bad, but it's the people behind it, and they want control. And if you have the capability of controlling your life, they're not gonna have control over you anymore. So they're not gonna be able to rule the world however they want. In this video, I'm gonna explain you exactly what are those hidden teachings and how to apply them in real life, whether it's in your business, relationship, or career, as that's what people hire me for, and I'm gonna tell you everything. So if you still don't know basically what is the Gospel of Thomas, it's a book that was removed from the Bible because of its teachings. It was in contradiction with what the church of today is teaching, and that's exactly why they removed it. But the information inside of it is actually how we can actually change your life. And the people that run this world, they definitely do not want you to know this information. So I'm here to tell you the truth. The first saying we're gonna talk about is found in the saying number 3, and it talks about heaven. It basically says that heaven is not a cosmic place in the afterlife. It's not in the sky or in the sea. And I'm gonna read it to you real quick. Jesus said, "If those who lead you say to you, 'See, the kingdom is in heaven,' then the birds of heaven will precede you. If they say to you, 'It is in the sea,' then the fish will precede you. But rather, the kingdom is inside of you." That means you don't need to go anywhere to be in heaven. You just need to go inside of you. So now that you know that heaven is not a place in the sky or in the afterlife, we can talk about like what is really heaven. Heaven is a state of mind when you consistently feel peace, joy, serene, and happiness. Because I'm telling you, if you go into heaven right now, this is exactly how you'd feel. If you're experiencing any type of emotion that are not related to positive emotion, you're in hell. If heaven is in the sky or in the afterlife, that means here on earth, you're supposed to consistently feel miserable, sadness, sorrow, doubt, worry, and limitation. And do you really think God wants you to feel those emotions on a daily basis while you're on earth? Absolutely not. That's why Jesus was talking about the kingdom is within you. It's the inside that creates the outside. You can live in heaven on earth if you know how to extract that. The average man lives 100 years. Most of the people that watch my channels, they're 20 and 30s. We still have like 70 to 80 years left. And do you really think God will agree that those are the emotions we need to feel while we're here on earth? Absolutely not. That is exactly why Jesus said heaven is inside of you. Heaven is a state of mind when you consistently feel peace, joy, serene, and happiness. And I want you to talk about one particular thing, which is the word sin. Because a lot of Christian people, they tell you a lot of stuff about sin, but they don't know the real definition of sin. So I'm gonna give you the real definition as well. The word sin comes from the Hebrew word shata, which literally means missing the mark or falling short from the target. The target is God. Anytime you're not falling into the target, which is heaven, you're in hell. Romans 3:23 says, "Y'all have sinned, y'all have fallen short from the glory of God." The glory of God is the center. The center represents heaven. Heaven is a state of mind when you consistently feel peace, joy, serene, and happiness. You're not feeling those emotions, you're falling your target. You're sinning, you're falling short, according to Romans. And I know you didn't expect the definition of sin to be this way. And I have a video called "Lust is not a sin." The real sin is what's behind it. I'll put that in the description, but this is basically the summary of it. For example, I came from a third world country. The reason most people steal is because they're resonating with lack. It's that emotion of lack that's gonna lead them to do the act of stealing. And now they're gonna call it sin. But the thing is, like, they can stop stealing, but if they still feel those emotions of lack inside of them, they're gonna still end up stealing regardless. Even if they stop the act, it's just gonna catch up to them. So the way for you to go to heaven, you go inside of yourself and you feel those emotions. The way you feel those emotions is through your subconscious mind. You gotta understand that your mind has 3 components: the superconscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the conscious mind. When Adam and Eve, they were in the garden, they were in direct contact with God. They were in the superconscious world. But as soon as they ate that apple, that's when they got descended into this third dimensional world, which is the physical world. That's when they got the conscious mind. But God did not separate us from Him forever. He still gave us the subconscious mind as a bridge to reach the superconscious. The subconscious mind is your emotion. You cannot reach the superconscious without going through your subconscious mind, because it runs 90% of your behavior, and its only language is your emotion. That's why when you try to change your life, you take one step and then you feel like there's some like outside force that's stopping you. You do a certain routine and then you struggle with discipline. The reason is because consciously, yes, you want to change, but subconsciously it says otherwise. And the reason for that is you're not feeling those emotions. You need to feel those emotions first in order for you to advance in life. If you consistently feel those emotions and you try to advance from those emotions, all you're gonna get is those emotions as a result, which eventually will lead you nowhere. That's why in the Bible it says, protect your heart because life flows from it. Life flows from it because that's the only language of the subconscious mind. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. A man reap what he sow, or sow what he reap. I don't remember the exact wording, but it basically says, whatever emotion you feel, that's what you're gonna get in reality. And this is what the Gospel of Thomas saying 3 says about heaven. And I have a whole video about heaven. I'll put that in the description as well. The next thing we're gonna talk about is the saying 22. And it says, Jesus saw infants being suckled. He said to his disciples, these infants being suckled are like those who enter the kingdom. They said to him, shall we then as children enter the kingdom? Jesus said to them, when you make the two one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, and when you make the male and female one and the same, so that the male not be male nor female, and you fashion eyes in the place of an eye, and a hand in place of a hand, and a foot in place of a foot, and a likeness in place of a likeness, then will you enter the kingdom. I'm going to explain the key principle in that verse. The first one is the 2-1. What it really means. It talks about the principles of oneness. Outside of this physical world, everything is one. Cold and hot are the same. Day and night are the same. It's only in this physical world that you experience separation. Because Adam and Eve ate that apple. That's basically the story behind it. So you got separated from the superconscious, but in order for you to enter the kingdom, you gotta consider everything as one. Fear and faith, a win and a loss, abundance and scarcity, it is the same energy. You either gonna experience fear or faith. While you're experiencing scarcity, you also have the choice to experience abundance. They're all the same energy. The only difference is their rate of vibration. If you don't know what vibration is, it's basically what creates everything. Anything that you see in this physical world, it vibrates. And it got those components. It got electron first. Electron vibrates and then it turns into atoms. Atoms vibrates themselves and then it turns into molecules. And then it's the combination of those vibrations that's gonna create event, matter, or the people that you encounter in your life. That's why a lot of people live in different realities, because they have different rate of vibration. And the rate of vibration is basically composed of electrons, atoms, and molecules. It just depends on the way you vibrate. That's how you're gonna experience your life. And the way you change your vibration is through your concentration. Let's start with fear and faith. You can see none of them. Yes, you might have evidence of what's gonna happen, but still it did not happen. So, would you rather choose faith or fear? They're the same thing. Most people, again, they choose fear. Why? It's because they judge it by what their eyes see. And in the Bible it says, do not judge by appearance, judge by righteous judgment. Righteous judgment is basically seen from only oneness. It's only seen from one eye, which is the spiritual eye. If you're relying on your physical eye, eventually you're always gonna feel fear, because we live in a world of separation. But on the other hand, as it says in the saying, if you focus on the your eye, we're gonna make one eye, which is the spiritual eye, then you will have the chance to experience faith instead of fear. So what are you concentrating upon? Are you concentrating on the thing that you do not want to happen, or on the thing that you want to happen? And again, most people, they focus on the things that they don't want. And guess what? That's exactly how they get the thing that they do not want. It's because they vibrated on the wrong pole of their desired reality. Same with a win and a loss. If you keep losing in life, the main reason is because your concentration is locked on losing. You lose in the physical world and you think it's the end, but we live on 3 planes of existence: spiritual, mental, and physical. Just because you lose on the physical doesn't mean you also have to lose on the mental and the spiritual. And it's the mental or spiritual that are the realms of cause. The physical world is just an effect. If you lose in the physical world, you still have the chance to use imagination to remember your past win. And that's exactly how you switch your concentration. You switch your concentration, you're gonna switch your vibration. Since it's the same energy, the more you focus on your past win, the more you increase your chance of winning. Same as abundance and scarcity. If you're feeling some type of scarcity in the physical world, your only chance is to go to the spiritual and the mental to tweak that. Use your imagination to create a situation where you're actually abundant. You're gonna be able to switch your concentration. Once you switch your concentration, you change your vibration. And then you eventually have abundance in the physical world. It's the spiritual and the mental that creates the physical. Because in those realms, everything is one. And it's only in the physical world that you experience separation. So if you want anything here on earth, which you have no choice if you want to go to heaven, you have to apply this principle of oneness. Understand that you experiencing adversity is just an opportunity. That's actually your chance to change your life. That's your chance to alter vibration. And the way you alter vibration is by altering on your concentration. Focus more on the thing you want to happen and watch God will create circumstance for you to make that happen. And I'm not one of those people that are going to tell you it's going to fall from the sky. No, it's going to fall through your intuition, your inner guidance. That's the voice that's going to tell you do this or do that. If you open the fridge and there's nothing in there, your intuition is going to tell you go to a grocery store. It's that same voice that's going to exactly lead you to the other side of the pole in the physical world. So any type of negative emotion that you feel right now, understand that is a chance for you to change your vibration. That's why you hear a lot of people say that the curse that you're experiencing is actually blessing in disguise. This is the reason why. The two one. Oneness. Jesus said it, not me. The next thing I'm gonna focus on is when it says these infants being suckled are like those who enter the kingdom. Talking about infants or children is because even in the Bible, in Matthew 18:3, it says you need to be like little children in order for you to enter the kingdom of God. Until you become like little children or infants, you're not gonna enter the kingdom of God. And the reason is because they're in constant states of peace, joy, serenity, and gratitude. Regardless of where a child is born, even if it's in the worst circumstance, trust me, and I'm sure you've seen this, they always feel those emotions until they reach adulthood. It's once you become an adult that you start to take life too seriously. And once you take your life too seriously, guess what Jesus said? You cannot enter the kingdom, which is heaven. And heaven is just a state of mind which represents peace, joy, serenity, and gratitude. You need to feel those emotions on a daily basis in order for you to reach heaven, which is nothing more than a state of mind. Just because your life is upside down and nothing is going well, doesn't mean you should not enter heaven. Because heaven will actually welcome everybody. Once you decide that you need to go there, all you need to do is to feel those emotions. The way you feel those emotions is by using imagination. It's by judging by righteous judgment instead of appearance. It's by giving up the flesh. You gotta live on the spiritual and the mental plane, which are the realm of cause. Reality is just an effect. The physical world is just an effect. And you'll never enter the kingdom of God if you do not feel those emotions, if you're not like little children. And that's the only way to fix your life. And if you're somebody that already did your absolute best, whether it's in improving your business, getting a better relationship, or just a better career or job, but it still don't happen, link in the description. I will help you get that. Because most of the time, you don't have a conscious problem, you have a subconscious problem. You're misaligned with God's power. That's exactly why you keep failing even if you try your best. But if you are just resonating with God consciousness, trust me, your action will follow the result you seek. The next thing we're gonna talk about is when it says, and then you make the male and the female one and the same, so that the male not be male nor female. That just means, in order for you to enter the kingdom, you need to combine masculine and feminine energy all together. Masculine energy represents the conscious mind. Feminine energy represents the subconscious mind. I'm gonna put you a chart right here to identify exactly what I mean. But in order for you to get anything in this reality, in order for you to get into heaven when you're consistently gonna feel peace, joy, gratitude, you need to combine those two and to make them one. It's doing and being all together. This is the problem with action taker. People that really love to hard work, they only tap into the male energy. They only tap into the conscious mind. And by doing that, you never enter the kingdom. That's why you see a lot of people, they got a lot of money, they got all the girls in the world, but they still feel empty. And I've worked with those people before. And this is the exact reason why they feel empty. They're only tapping into the conscious mind. They're only doing. And even though they got the result, they're not feeling the way they're supposed to feel. Why? It's because they didn't tap into feminine energy, which is nothing more than the subconscious mind, which is emotion. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added to you. If you only use the masculine energy with just action, you're basically just chasing the things. You're not chasing the kingdom. But in order for you to reach the kingdom, you gotta use your emotion. You gotta use feminine energy. It's the conscious and the subconscious that's gonna lead you to the superconscious. It's by doing and being at the same time that you're gonna be satisfied with your actual reality. And people that take action are not the only problem. You also got other spiritual people that just gonna tell you, just pray, 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 pray. Well, it doesn't really work like that, because remember, we live on 3 planes of existence: spiritual, mental, and physical. You gotta align all those 3 to live an amazing life. Because if you don't, you're gonna be misaligned somewhere. And the problem is spiritual people, they're only dwelling in the spiritual and mental without never taking action. And that's also a problem. That's why Jesus is telling you, neither male nor female, but make them one. Combine them. Just don't focus on one plane of existence. Use all the plane of existence. Because those spiritual people, they know how to change their life, but they'd rather just dream all day. And here, I'm not gonna make you dream all day. I'm gonna tell you exactly what Jesus said in order for you to create the reality that you want, so that you can reach the kingdom, which is heaven, which is just a state of mind. I think by now it's clear. Action alone is not gonna lead you there. And daydreaming alone too is not gonna lead you there. But combining the 2 is what actually gonna make you reach the kingdom. The next thing we're gonna talk about is when it says, when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below. That just means it's your internal state that's gonna dictate how your reality will look like. It's the internal that's gonna cause the external. Spiritual and mental are the cause. The physical plane is just an effect. If you wanna change your external situation, you gotta first change your internal state. And this is why too church goes wrong, is because they want you to look like you're doing good deeds, but your good deeds are not the cause of your reality. It's your internal state that is the cause. As an example, I remember back when I had nothing, if I had like $100, I would donate like 75% of it. And when I was donating, I thought it's gonna change my reality. But the thing is, like, if you give in from a place of scarcity, all you're gonna get is scarcity. That is why your good deeds or looking like somebody that is absolutely holy is not gonna change your life. I'm not telling you be a bad person, no, still do good deeds, but just understand that that's what not gonna change your life. Acting like you're very holy or spiritual, that's what not gonna change your life. What's gonna change your life is what's in the internal. Even in the Bible it says God looks at what is inside of you, not on what is outside of you. Somebody can be full of tattoo, but if internally he's a radiant of the emotion of heaven, eventually his tattoo is not gonna affect his reality. And I came from a third world country. I'm telling you, having one tattoo, you're banned from church. You have the wrong haircut, you're banned from church. Dressing appropriately, you're banned from church. Well, those are all external. That's what not matter. Here it states that it's internal that's gonna change the external. As a man thinking in his heart, so is he. So change your internal state first in order for you to change your external. If you're broke externally, feel rich internally first. If everybody externally tell you you're a failure, you gotta first see yourselves as a winner before you can take action. If the world tells you that you're never gonna get a beautiful relationship, or all the odds are against you to get a beautiful relationship, you first need to give yourself that beautiful relationship. Find those emotions related to what that relationship will give you. Use imagination to evoke those emotions. The more you do that, the more you're gonna change your internal. And by changing the internal, then you're eventually gonna change your external. The way you stay stuck is by letting the external world affect your internal world. You need to live in your own world until your own world reflects the external, not the other way around. Because if you let the external affect your internal, since it's internal the cause, it's just gonna be an endless cycle of failure. Identify every time you judge by the external, because that's exactly what created your reality. You decided that the external was the real thing, and then you let that affect you internally. And since the internal is what created the external, you're just gonna experience what the external showed you. But to change that, change your internal first, and eventually your external gonna change. Do not let what you see on the external world affect the internal. Protect your heart, because life flows from it. Those negative emotions that are coming to you, you can reject them. Even if the situation is real bad, your only choice is to think positively. Because if your external is already hell, your only way to escape it is to be in heaven. And the only way you feel heaven is by going inside of you. It's by switching the internal. And eventually, once you reach heaven internally, you'll be able to experience heaven externally. The last thing I'm gonna talk about is saying number 41. And it says, whoever has something in his hand will receive more, and whoever has nothing will be deprived of even the little he has. This just means you can have what's already yours. If you want a beautiful relationship, you need first to have that beautiful relationship. If you want more money, you first need to be more money. If you want your dream car, your dream house, or your dream penthouse, you first need to have them in the first place. And by having here, what Jesus meant is having it spiritually first. You have it spiritually, and then eventually you'll get it physically. But if you do not have it spiritually, eventually you will lose it physically. And it's gonna make sense once you understand that having has actually two definitions. It has a spiritual and physical definition. The spiritual definition is just the mental plus emotion. That's how you get it spiritually. The physical definition is anything that you can interact with your five senses. Just because you can see it doesn't mean it's not real. On the physical world, yes, it's not real. But since you want to change the physical, you first need to change the realm of causation, which is nothing more than the spiritual and mental realm. And the way you create that in the spiritual world is through your imagination and your emotion. Use your mental and your emotion all together in order to create whatever you want. It's your imagination that's gonna give you whatever you want. Even in the Bible it says, whoever has, more will be given to you. But for whoever does not have, even what he has, it will be taken away from them. And the reason for that is the definition of having spiritually. If you don't have it spiritually, you're never gonna get it physically. And again, most people, they're judging by their five senses. They're judging by appearance. So eventually it's either they're not getting the things they want, or they get it, but they end up losing it. And that is because this law of what Jesus said. You will have more from what you have in your hand. But if you do not have it in your hand, you will be deprived from it. More will be given to you if you already have it in the spiritual world. It will be taken away from you if you only have it in the physical. You just need to identify the emotion of what you want to have and then use your imagination to spark those emotions. Then you will have it spiritually. And since you already have it spiritually, God is just gonna multiply that in the physical world. Let's say you want a better crib. Identify the emotion of what a better crib will bring you, whether it's a penthouse, a house, or just a better apartment. So for example, if you came from the hood or the slums, like me, having a better crib means feeling more safe, feeling secure, being at peace. Well, those are the emotions we need to cultivate in order for you to get that thing. Remember, kingdom first, things later. Matthew 6:33. Same if you want more money. How would more money make you feel? You're probably gonna be grateful and you're gonna feel satisfied. Well, you need to cultivate those emotions in order for you to get more money. Let's say you want a better car, a supercar or a hypercar. You need to be proud of yourself and you need to be happy if that's what that car will bring you, and then you'll eventually get it. Kingdom first, things later. Internal first, external later. It's the spiritual and the mental that creates the physical. A couple techniques that I give my clients that will help you spark those emotions is listening to music, for example. Listen to your favorite song and start to imagine your dream life. Act like your life is a video clip of that song. Do it until it starts to be hard to use your imagination. Once it's hard to use your imagination, stop and go on about your day. And the music is actually gonna help you bring those emotions up. And I'm not here to tell you to not listen to the music of the world. If the music that you hear at church doesn't bring you emotion, it's absolutely pointless. So you can listen to the music of the world, but understand the goal behind it. So you can choose any type of music, it doesn't have to be the gospel. But me personally, none of my clients listen to the gospel to manifest their desired reality. Another technique is imagine the people that you know in your life congratulating you on having the thing that you want. Whether it's more money, a house or a car, just see them being happy for you. See them congratulating you. That's gonna help you spark those emotions. And another technique too is to use vision board. Put the things that you want on a board or on your phone and then visualize yourself having them. You can combine all of those techniques. Look at your vision board, listen to your favorite music, and then imagine your dream life. Start to see people congratulating you having what you have in your vision board. You can just use one of them or all of them, it doesn't matter. The main goal of it is to spark the emotion. If your manifestation technique doesn't work, it's not because of the technique itself, it's because it didn't spark enough emotion. And the emotion is the only language of your subconscious mind in order for you to reach the superconscious where everything already exists. Don't forget to take a screenshot. This board is for you, it's not for me. Because I'm telling you, by tomorrow, if you don't save this information, you're gonna forget it. And the whole goal here is for you to use it in your real life. I'm not just gonna give you theory, I'm gonna also tell you exactly how to take action, and this is how. And if you need more help to unstuck your situation, whether it's in business, relationship, career, or job, link in the description. Other than that, peace.